the Republicans in the United States of America, you don't hear things like this. Crossing carpets. You see, it's anathema in those areas. Whether they are sinking or swimming, they sink or swim in their parties. But here, we hear of this type of... I take a look at this one. I just say, this is mercenary. So the type of National Assembly I would love to see is the type that, you know, thinks of the nation first, not of selfish interest. And then they have to disabuse their minds of this type of selfishness which are witnessing in the country today. A National Assembly that has to think first of national interest before any other consideration. A National Assembly that is, whose members are steadfast. Steadfastness should be the word, should be the language. You have to be steadfast. Whether the party is swimming or sinking, you have to swim or sink. But that's not the culture of Nigerian politicians.
But some people will say that, that hasn't really affected, say, the togetherness or otherwise of the House of Representatives, for instance, or even the Senate. You see that most of the decisions that they have taken oftentimes have been unanimous. They seem to be very, very agreed on, certain things. And it doesn't really matter to them what party you belong to. It would seem that the House of Representatives has decided that it's going to be critical of everything the executive does.
You see, the thing is that you take a look at the whys and wherefores of the decision to go en masse. I am not against anybody going. Yeah, you can go, because so far we don't have any solid opposition party, and we should have an opposition party in a democratic dispensation such as ours. We have to. I mean, where you have some weak-kneed parties that call themselves the opposition parties and so on, and cannot do anything about what government is saying, and you don't know whether they are part of government or not part of government. They are in the opposition. You don't know. That is dangerous in a democratic setup such as ours. But if you must move to the opposition, if you want to create a good opposition, you must create it for good reasons. Because here, the way I look at things, my analysis is that very many people who rose up in insurrection against the status quo in the House of Representatives, last year, did so because they did not like a particular face or a number of faces. The chairman of PDP.
What I'm looking at, sir,
yes,
is how it's affected their work. I'm not really looking at the defections now.
Yes.
But building on Slyman's question as to what kind of National Assembly you'd like to see in 2014.
Yes.
I'm asking if if all of this, if they've been able to put aside their political affiliations and actually concentrate on their jobs as legislators. That's what I'm asking. Would you say that it's affected them so far, and do you think it's going to affect them in 2014?
Yeah, it's going to. See, if we continue like this, the business of legislation will suffer. That's the problem. If we keep on talking of defection and so on, that's where the problem lies. You don't. For example, for quite a while now, nothing much may have been done in the National Assembly. This is the 7th assembly now, for example. You can count on your fingertips the number of legislation that are designed for the socio-economic development of the people. You can count them on your fingertips. Why? Because of all these uproar in the National Assembly, jumping from one place to another, one not being stable. That is the talk of the. That's what everybody in the polity. That's what everybody in the country listens to today. That's all. Oh, what have we done now to benefit the people? No, we are not talking about that. We are talking of what politicians are doing, what they may do. For example, the House of Representatives did what they did last year. People jumping from one place to another one, and we are now hoping that everybody is now expecting the senators to do the same thing. And is that what the National Assembly is designed to do?
Let's start from the budget.
Yes.
I mean, one of the things that they're designed to do is to pass the appropriation bill into law.
Yes.
And last year we saw the tussle that, took place on the 2013 budget, even though it was presented early in 2012, sometime in October.
Yes.
And they began debate at least 2 weeks by December.
Yes.
This year, the budget was presented. We already saw that the president did not himself go there.
Yes.
He delegated the Minister of Finance to present the budget.
Yes.
She's done that already.
Yes.
What are you looking to see in terms of now how this politics is going to affect, say, the presentation of that 2014, beg your pardon, 2014 budget?
Okay. You see, you just cited a good example. The presentation of the budget, and then the discussion of the budget, and then the passing of the budget, and so on. When the president sends an appropriation bill, because before it becomes a budget, it remains a bill, an appropriation bill to the National Assembly, for them to take a look at, and then take a decision on it, and then invite then approve it, send it to the president for his assent, so that it becomes a budget, then becomes an act of the National Assembly. Now, when the president does that, usually, when you have self-serving legislators, now they now take a look at the budget, and then they begin to debate areas that subserve their own personal interest. For example, we're talking of the benchmark. Senators were saying, okay, 75.5% is okay, $75.5 per barrel is okay. Oh no, representative said it should be more, and so on. If you probe into the whys and wherefores of that debate, of the conflict of opinion as between the senators and the reps, you will discover that the whole thing was self-serving, and that was what delayed discussion, the passing of the budget, which, like you said, was passed on to them very early, maybe September, October, and until things started to go all right. Now, budgets, if the financial year starts January 1 every year till December 31st every year, budgets will be passed well before the beginning of the year. Now, but not so anymore. So we now have legislators who sit down there thinking of what will accrue to them.
But you're giving these assumptions or you're saying this based on the assumption that even the figure that was presented by the executive wasn't self-serving at all.
The figures presented by the executive?
Yes. Are they all altruistic?
No, it may not be. You see, the problem has been between the senators and the reps, not between the National Assembly and the executive. You can see. The problem has been between the two houses of the National Assembly.
There was no problem.